not as fresh today. So let's do the breakdown. So you guys should be able to see the main screen, and I am also recording this as well. So Monday morning we had, I think it's obviously important to talk about just a couple things off the bat. I imagine most of you keep up with macroeconomics outside of the market. So we did have Moody's downgrade for the US credit on Friday. I am not going to give you a huge breakdown of that. The synopsis is US basically credit had a downgrade for the first time in history from Moody's. I always say, and this is not from me, it's just something I've picked up along the way of my career, is when the chart is ready, news normally follows. When the chart is ready, news normally follows. Now, if we just zoom out of where we have come on a daily point of view, does it make sense to have some sort of consolidation / pullback after we had a huge 21% rally from the halfway back on the week? The weekly halfway back traded on the 21st of April. ATR bar reversal to the upside. Those who are interested, my indicator package for the ATRs are now available. This is not to sound rude. I don't care if you buy them or you don't, but they are available if you want them. I know that sounds harsh, but I don't mean it like that. I just mean I really don't care if you do or you don't. I just use them. Feel free to use them if you want to. It's $199 for the whole package for life. You don't have to. It really doesn't bother me. There are some other ones on TradingView that you can use that are similar. I'm just going to be referring to this when I talk about things. So if you want to get them, you're more than welcome to. At the same time, you don't have to. This is a reversal bar that is printed. It then trades a halfway back again on the 21st of April. That goes all the way to, if we actually look at that extension, that goes all the way to the negative 62. So 23 and 62 has completed. Once it completed the negative 23, we went into extensions on the 7th of May. That went all the way to and through completions, and we actually went into extensions again. Extensions traded on the 12th of May, which went all the way to and through the negative 23. And what we are currently in is an anchor from the 12th of May, 10 a.m. RTH anchor all the way to 10 a.m. anchor on the 15th of May. And this is the support that we currently have. Now, support until proven otherwise, of course. But if we go back to last week, these were the levels I had marked on my screen. I've enlarged them and I've pointed them all to the right and increased the color capacity just to show you these were the levels I had marked on my screen. If you go back through the charts on Thursday or Friday, you'll see this is the levels I had. This was my resistance. In fact, it must have been Thursday because we didn't trade this until Friday. This was my resistance. These two were my support longs. So if you put this out here, you'll be able to see we came down, and then this is where we went long on Friday. And the support, the area that I didn't want to be short below was this 21,160s. Now, on the overnight today, this is where we found some support at 4:30 at 21,110s. And this doesn't have to be a floor. We have traded a halfway back. I'm expecting the 23 not to complete. However, it would be nice to see equal highs get taken out at the 8 a.m. anchor. Doesn't have to. It's just I'm drawing this just to see if we do complete or not. So it's just I'm not necessarily saying I don't want to play shorts down here. It just doesn't make that much sense for me to do that, just because of, if you zoom out where we are, one, I don't necessarily think it's a good thing to short a bullish trend. I think it's much easier to be a bull on the pullbacks as opposed to be a bear on the pullbacks, just personally. So the anchor that I'm using would be from what traded on the 13th of May. That went all the way to completions, and we have just come down into the 38 and the 50. So if you put this in so you can see, we've come down to the 38 and the 50 this morning, and that is where we have so far found a bottom, right? So far. So we traded a small traditional, completed the 23, completed the 62, same anchor new high, has traded the 50, and again has traded the 50 on this double bottom low. So there is no edge here because, as you can see, we have equal highs here and we have equal lows here. So you are inside a range. So there's nothing to do for me right now. All I will be doing is to basically see, does this trend complete? And if so, I will be looking to see, once this negative 100 completes, I will go into a same anchor new high. So once this negative 100 completes, I will move this anchor to the new high and I will look to bid the 38 or the 50. But I'm really not going to do anything until we get above this 21,246s to the long side. And to be honest, I don't think, as of yet, I don't think I'm going to trade the short side. I know you can see a bit of a bear flag potential setup here. Not something that I necessarily trade. I'm aware of it. Again, not something I necessarily trade, but it's there. I'm aware of it, right? I just don't know if I really want to be pushing shorts below this level. Now, in terms of potential pullbacks that I would like to see trade, would be a full same anchor new high from the original high to high. That puts you down to 21,700s. Which is really nice because that's a rebalance of the 4-hour candle on the 12th of May. This is an ATR bar from the overnight. I'm just going to take the overnight off for now and see if we have any unfilled ATRs to the upside. No. On the half an hour we do, which would be putting us back down to around 20,000. Let's see if I can just move this out of the way a second. From that high, that was a traditional. So yeah, something like that. 20,070 would be a nice support on the RTH, and then below that would be around 20,000. Call it 20,000. Did I say 700s? Let's just go back. Yeah, 21,070, but there was another level. 20,600. Yeah. So 20,600 is where I just want to make sure these are correct on here. Let me just take these off for a second, do this live on screen with you guys for my supports. So I'm keeping 21,250s on there. 21,220s is just equal high takes, so that's just a notable thing for me. ETH wise, I am going to mark the 20,700. Yes, I'm going to mark 20,700, and I'm going to mark the 21,070. I don't necessarily think if that trades today, I will trade the long side, just because of this was basically don't want to short below this level. So I'd rather be long above that, not short below or long below. And then RTH wise, let's just have a quick look. Yeah, 20,000. Basically that same level there. Don't think there is anything else on here. Let me just have a quick check. That was an ETH draw. Yeah, that was an ETH draw. We traded a halfway back on FOMC. So same anchor new high there brings you to about 20,580s. So I will mark that. But obviously that is some price below. But they're the only real levels that I'm going to keep on my screen, and hopefully they trade some point this week. I just don't know if they will, but if they do, that would result in a 3-4% to the downside if we do get that. Again, no idea if we do. I'm just saying if we do, they're levels that I will be paying attention to. But going into today, keep it really simple. I'm going to move these now just because I know what they were from. Keep an eye out on 21,250s. Let it complete, then draw the same anchor new high. If we don't get above, forget it. And in terms of no shorts below would be, let me just copy and paste that to the 160. So this area here, for me, is around this zone here. So again, you don't have to follow this by any means. I'm just saying I don't really want to be pushing any shorts below there. Yeah, really, really simple. Same anchor new high once 250 completes. If it doesn't complete, we're most likely going to sell off or consolidate. If we consolidate, just wait for the breakout and trade it to the long side if it does trade above that 250s. If we just consolidate and do not break below 160s, I'd find that very hard. But if that does happen, then you know what to do. Don't do anything. And if we do continue below 21,160s, I personally would sit on hands. You don't have to, but that's just personally what I would do. Of course, if you want to follow the shorts, map out where they have completed, traditional, draw the same anchor new low, and by all means, if you trade that 21,265s, you know, you're stuck inside a short, inside a long. So already today I can see it's a lower probability day. Expectations just be slightly lower because, yeah, this was going to be a potential long setup, but then you're going to run into the short. So depending on where you go long, let's say you break 250s, you come up to 260s, you come down to 187s, you come back up to equal highs, it most likely is not going to complete the 23 because you've got equal highs, plus you've got the same anchor new low 38 support. So 38 support for the short side, I guess. So yeah, we'll see what we can get today. Hopefully that's not a too long of a breakdown, but if there's anything I've not explained, just let me know, and I will put the screen on Tradeovate to show you any of the trades I get into.